Welcome back to Kitchen Table Wargaming. Today we've got a fantastic matchup. As you can see, we got some nasty, gribbly, demon-y goodness. We got the Death Guard rocking in versus the Grey Knights. These are the Warlords. We'll come back. We'll show you the armies in just a second and tell you all the good, tasty funness from Nurgle himself and from the Grey Knights. Alrighty folks, here's the Grey Knights list today. So I've been taking some feedback based on some games recently that you've probably seen, and some good advice was given. I've taken it. One thing that I changed just because I didn't really like the bonuses from the Blades of Victory is I went back to Rapiers. I just love that one for the Brotherhood. This is also now a battalion because I dropped Crow and the Purifier Squad and the Razorback to replace him with an extra Dread Knight. Definitely kind of felt like I was running out of punch a little too early in games. Of course, I played some mean opponents recently too, so we'll see. But we're going back to the 4 Dread Knights, still keeping 2 Rhinos because I think that transport is going to make a difference going forward with all the armies that can still ignore line of sight. Looking at you, Tau, and keeping things alive. So here's what we got for HQs. We have, of course, the Grandmaster Dread Knight. He has the Sigil of Exigence, so the relic to let him teleport if he gets targeted with shooting once per battle. We've got Mr. Drago because the Chapter Master stuff is just nice, and when he gets into combat, he does tend to do some business there. And then I've got the Captain. He is the Warlord with Unyielding Anvil, so he gives Obsec in a 6-inch aura. And he has the Cuirass for the 1-up save and the 5-up Final Pain. And that's it. I'm only spending 1 CP with this list to give him to give the second relic, and everything else is nice and affordable. I've got 3 squads of Strike Marines, so these guys are the OBSEC units. They're just going to run around and do me some good. I've got 2 Rhinoceri, Rhinos, whatever. 3 Dread Knights. They are WYSIWYG, so this last guy back here does have the Hammer, the Flamer, and the Silencer. The other 2 guys are Psy Cannon, Silencer, and Swords. Then I've got 2 Fast Attack, so I've got the 10-man squad of Interceptors and the 5-man squad of Interceptors. And that's it, and it is exactly 2,000 points. Yeah, I'm excited. We'll see how this plays, and we'll be back, and you'll find out how the Death Guard look, what they're going to be doing to me, and then we'll get this game going. Alrighty, folks, 2,000 points of Death Guard. Let's see. I will do my best to get this right. A couple of things to point out that I found interesting in this, and he's still playtesting, so maybe this changes later. This is as it is. You got 3 Plague Burst Crawlers, you got the 2 Fetid Bloat Drones with the Flesh Mowers, and then there are 3 Mephitic Blight Haulers, but they're running as individual units, which is kind of cool. I think there's a little mobility and utility when you do that. I also recognize that 3 in a unit are stupid hard to get rid of. So we'll see. Wilders has some good ideas as to why he does it this way, and we're gonna play it again. And he's played it once like this, and we'll play it again today and see if that stays or not. You've got some troops here. We got the Nurglings up here in the front. So there's 3 bases or 3 squads of 3. We got 2 squads of the Plague Marines here, and then character-wise, we've got a Poxbringer over here with Virulent Blessing. So easy to say when you're talking faster than you're supposed to. You got Epidemius. I'm ready to hate him already. I've played against an Epidemius 1 time before. It was not my favorite thing in the world. So, yay. Got the Demon Prince. Again, Warlord. He has the separating plate.
So fun.
I said that real well.
Separating plate, which gives him a 2-up save, and when you fight him in melee, he gives you he hands out little mortal wounds sometimes. And then he's also got Rotten Constitution, so he ignores AP 1 and 2. And of course, he's -1 damage for his Death Guard.
-1 damage.
And he's got Miasma Pestilence, which is -1 to hit to 1 unit. And then next to him is the Malignant Plaguecaster. He's just carrying the Ironclad Furnace today.
He says.
Just
handing out 4-up invols to, demon vehicle things. It's great, yes.
He is the Plague Oprah, we like to call him.
There we go.
You get a 4-up invul, and you get a 4-up
invul.
And he's got Miasma Pestilence as well, and Gift of Contagion, which gives -1 strength and -1 attack to a unit.
You don't have to worry about all these spells. I'm going to deny them. So, we're just going to, that's what I'm going to say.
We'll see.
We'll find out. This will be a fun one. This is a great matchup. Death Guard and Grey Knights. It always makes me nervous because of their -1 damage. It annoys me with all my 2 damage weapons that I was so excited about. So this will be a lot of fun. We've got some good psychic back and forth, some real nasty durability, and some scary weapons that he's going to be shooting at me. And then, of course, Epidemius really annoys me because he's going to say, hey, good, you killed something. Now everything else gets to kill better.
He makes this entire army so much better.
It is. It's real strong. So those are the lists. This is 2,000 points. Again, this is an Outrider and a Patrol, and I tried to separate who was in what, and it's a cool mix. The way it's set up is really, really good and really fun, but I'm not going to try to explain that again because I'll trip over myself. But that is how we've got the 4 characters. We've got this many with the elites, heavy supports, and fast attack all worked in there. So there you go. Hope y'all enjoy this one. We'll be back for the mission and the game deployment, all that good stuff in just a minute. Alrighty, folks, we rolled up mission number 32, Death and Zeal. It does have objectives that once you control it in your command phase, you can walk off and it stays under your control, which is fun. It also has the fun chunk of terrain, deployment zones where you got that little half circle in the middle and you're in a quarter of the board. So that is where we are here. That is where they are over there. You have 2 objectives on that half of the board, 1 in the center, and then there's 2 on this half of the board over here. And the mission bonus, take an objective you didn't have before, and you can get points. You also could kill a squad that's on a point, or kill a unit off a point. If they're on a point and you kill them off of it. If you do both of those things in your turn, you get 3 points. So, fun. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. And then we should talk about deployment. So I have 5 interceptors, 5 strikes, and a rhino. Same with this rhino. Strike squad down there. Interceptor squad way back here. Kind of hoping to be out of the way and ignored a little bit. Inside the building, we've got Drago, Capitan, we've got the Grandmaster Dread Knight, and the other Dread Knights, as you can see there. Then you got the Death Guard. Nurglings, I always forget about their obnoxious, forward deploy shenanigans, and then it happens, and I'm like, oh, man, I wish I could do that, but I can't. We got some Plague Marines here. Got the Flesh Mower, 3 Blight Haulers, Warlord, more Plague Marines, Laborers Crawlers back here, and Mr. Epidemius. I don't know why he's so far away. It's almost like he doesn't want to get killed. Something, I don't know, exposed? Who knows? You got the Pox Bringer back in this corner, and then the rest of the Nurglings setting up. Those are not on the 2nd floor. They're just down there. We didn't want to deal with crates and terrain and stuff, so they're hanging out in view, but they're really actually hidden. And then these guys are on this objective back here. And we both deployed a unit on an objective and then chuckled because the way this game plays, we could have just deployed like our OBSEC off of the objectives and then walked on first turn and had the mission bonus, turn 1. Clever! But we weren't. That's okay. So those are those. Let me show you what we've got for secondaries for this game. I'm going to do Purifying Ritual, Assassinate, and I'm going to try Raise Banners. Because I've done Stranglehold for 3 games in a row and it's been horrible. Then he took Stranglehold, and I thought, maybe I should have done that. I don't know. Investigate Signals. I haven't played anyone doing that in quite a while, so that'll be cool. And To the Last, which are, surprisingly, his Plagueverse Crawlers. We're shocked. And now, I think we've covered all the necessities, so it is time for the roll-off. Go ahead, sir. Oh, he started with a 1. That's promising. It is. I'll take a 5. It is Grey Knights. Turn 1. We'll be back in just a minute.
Things will happen.
Okie dokie, it is the end of the Grey Knights turn 1, and here's what we did. I used my pregame move to stand off the objective, and then they got on the objective. So I did score. I forgot about that. I scored a mission bonus. Huzzah! Then, over here, everybody in the Rhino got out. These boys advanced to get a little bit out of line of sight, just a little, so it'd make Wilder have to at least shuffle some things to shoot at them, if he cared to shoot at them. But they were still able to do Purifying Ritual, because you can do that if you advance. This squad got out of the Rhino, was standing over here in the building, and had a nice 6-inch charge into the Nurglings. Over here we did Purifying Ritual, and everybody here moved forwards so that this guy peeked around the corner to see the bloat drone that is gone. Haha. And I spent the 1 command point on him to have the psychic onslaught, so +1 damage and +1 AP. And he got the bloat drone nearly dead, and then it required his brother over here to finish off said bloat drone. He also cast Purifying Ritual, so we got 3 of them off, so I got a 4 points on that. The Dread Knight tried to put Sanctuary on this Rhinoceros back here and failed. That was kind of embarrassing for him, but it is what it is. Let me see. This Dread Knight, he put Hammerhand on himself, and I gave him the Chapter Master rerolls, so he had everything was rerolling, and of course Hammerhand is rerolling wounds. And then I did the big brain. I was like, man, I'm going to use the fist because there's no -1 to hit, and I was just charged into the Plague Marines. Forgot they reduced damage. So my 2 damage attacks, all of them went through, none of them were saved, and I still only killed 2.5. I was like, oh man, while there's like the reduced damage, I was like, I'm an idiot. So I should have killed the squad and I didn't. I did go ahead and pile into the Mephitic Blight Hauler, so it hit me back, did a wound, and then the 3 Plague Marines hit me. I had 2 wounds go through. I rolled Snake Eyes for the saves, so I took 3 damage out of my efforts there. It was kind of amusing. My last redeploy was to redeploy the squad of interceptors over here, and I redeployed them into this corner of the terrain. Moved forward, we shot into and took like a wound off of these Nurglings, and then charged the ones on the objective over there. So we were able to kill them. So I'll actually get 3 for the mission bonus because I killed a unit off an objective, and I took an objective I didn't have previously. So that's what all I did, and that's it. So I killed a blow drone, I killed 2.5 Plague Marines, and did some moving around and pushing Mr. Wilder out, making it real hard for investigate signals, and we'll see how long it stays alive, because now I'm going to get shot at. So we'll be back for Death Guard, turn 1. Alright folks, we're back. Death Guard turn 1 is done. This poor squad of Strike Marines got obliterated by some cannons from Plagueburst Crawlers. The Grandmaster Dread Knight is over here because he was targeted, and after much deliberation I felt it would be nice to put a little pressure on this side of the board. Bloat Drone was there, Plagueburst Crawlers back there. Seemed like maybe a good place to be. Speaking of Bloat Drone here, he did make his charge with a CP reroll. Yeah, because he managed to roll a 3. Yes, that was disappointing for Mr. Wilder, but, you know, it was worth it. He came in, he definitely killed this guy pretty good. Seeing how we're Dread Knights that don't reduce damage. Over here, the shooting into combat didn't work out so well. By the way, we didn't say this. He is running the Pox Bringers? Is that what it's called?
Poxmongers.
Yeah. Poxmongers, sorry. So the vehicles can shoot in combat. And so what happened here was Mr. Demon Prince charged and did a whole lot of work. And I'm down on a wound, but that Dread Knight is still there. I was proud of him. And I dropped the Demon Prince to 3 wounds left. So there's a possibility he could be dead from a cheeky smite. You never know. Over here, we got a couple of Mephitic Blight Haulers that moved around, did some shooting into my Interceptors. I put True Silver Armor on them, and it helped a little. So I only lost 1.5 to the shooting, and then I lost another 1.5 to combat from this Blight Hauler that charged them. However, the little Nurglings over here, being OBSEC, have won that point back, and so he's good on that front over there. And then back here, a little bit of movement, kind of just keeping dudes moving around, still screening out back there, and that's that. Some Plague Marines coming out to play. So that's the end of that for this turn. He did manage to score Stranglehold, thanks to my Dread Knight in the middle dying and me removing the Grandmaster Dread Knight. I would have probably could have left him there and thought about that ahead of time. So he gets 3 for Stranglehold, and we both got 3 on the mission bonus because we both killed a unit off an objective and also got onto an objective we didn't hold previously. I think that's everything. Yeah, I think that's it. That wraps it up. There's no morales anywhere because he just killed my stuff dead and I killed his stuff and it didn't have morale. So that's the end of Battle Round turn 1. We'll be back for Grey Knights turn 2 next. Alright folks, Grey Knights turn 2 is now done. This squad got out of the Rhino and raised a banner. They did Purifying Ritual. This squad over here had to jump backwards to be able to do Purifying Ritual on that objective. And then I had my captain do the ritual on this one, so I got 4 more for that, because that's just really good. Drago gave this guy the Chapter Master rerolls, and then this guy walked up and charged into a Demon Prince. Drago came in, charged into a Bloat Drone. We did a lot of shooting at this Bloat Drone and didn't really do a lot to it. We took like maybe 3 wounds, I think, from a lot of different angles. The Dread Knight that was there shot the Demon Prince, and we did a smite into the Demon Prince. He had 1 wound left. We charged. He interrupted because I started with Drago, figuring that the Bloat Drone, being a lawn mowing killing machine, would kill Drago. I took the gamble on his 3-up invul saves, and I started with Drago into this. This guy survived all of the Demon Prince's attacks, and then he killed the other one. So this guy hit and killed the Demon Prince, his 1 wound that was left. So it was very spicy. And then I had to CP reroll 1 to keep Mr. Drago alive over here. So that's how that plays out. This drone is now down to 4 wounds remaining, and the silly thing had the Ironclad Furnace put on it. So the 4-up invuls, he tanked so much. He actually took 5 wounds from Drago, but saved all but 1 is what happened, and it was a mortal wound on top. So that's this Dread Knight only has a single wound left. I did spend the onslaught on that to shoot into this, and it didn't matter because of his 4-up invul saves. Oh, it's very frustrating. This Rhino has moved up and around just to get those guys a little closer to the action. I did spend the 1 command point for Fight on the Move to fall back and then shoot and charge those guys back into the Nurglings, and I had a really bad wound roll. Oh no, he rolled 3 5-ups. That's what you did. Yeah, you did. You rolled 5-ups like a boss. Yeah. So I only killed like 1.5 and 3.
Rolled 5s like it's nobody's business.
It was so bad, and 3 mortal wounds on top, and he still had a Nurgling base with 3 wounds left. Oh, that was so disappointing. So yeah, that happened. It was kind of sad. By the way, with my captain being OBSEC, I did reclaim this objective, so I was able to score my points for at least 2 points for that. I didn't kill anything off an objective, though, so I don't get the 3 for the mission bonus. I only get 2. Made me real sad. Then this guy came up here, charged into this dude, dropped him down to 4 wounds left, but he is still kicking, because, yeah, that's how it goes when you have a D6 damage weapon profile. And I can't use my other one, because it reduces the damage by 1 all over the place. And the other bad news for me is the tally has now gone up to 3. Yep. It's a climbing. They're just moving a little quicker. And that's it. So that's the end of the turn for the Grey Knights. I did pick up Assassinate, killing the Demon Prince, so I did get 4 for that because he was the Warlord. And that is my turn. So we'll be back in just a minute for y'all with the Death Guard, turn 2. We are done with Death Guard turn 2. Wilder's looking up a rules thing that we've run into we're curious about, but once he knows, we'll let you know. These guys stayed alive over here. However, he did do the shoe sting into those guys with a Playburst Crawler, so that Interceptor squad is now dead. I'm a little sad about that. Over here, we had a Mephitic Blight Hauler charge into Drago, and Drago said, "Not today, Satan." Then took 2 wounds. I did have to... I think I CP'd a save to keep him alive on 2 wounds. Yeah, I did. Left me on 2 command points. And then this guy, what a boss, he got shot by this Blight Hauler. They came around the corner, dumped Multi-Melta, crack, everything into him, and the extra saves from the Cuirass and all that good stuff was kind of funny, and he was a little sad, but he survived. He had 2 wounds left. And then Drago killed this, and this exploded, and I didn't shrug any of the mortal wounds. So I'm down to a wound on those characters, and I kind of need them to keep staying alive.
Okay, so if both players have OBSEC in range of an objective, then it reverts to standard rules for control of an objective.
Oh, okay, cool. So the reason we were curious about this is I have the 2 OBSEC because of my Warlord trait, and he had 2 OBSEC models on the point, but he has technically more models on the point because of the Mephitic Blight Hauler, and I had not understood that the Blight Hauler would count when you were dealing with OBSEC. So, we've clarified that. He picked up Stranglehold because of that cheekiness. I will kill them all! Yes, that's what I say. Over here, we did a little falling back, and then this dude had 3 wounds left. You'll notice this annoying little man with a sharp stick charged the rear end of my Dread Knight, and then proceeded to kill my Dread Knight from the back with a stick. And it did require CP because he has a D3 damage weapon. It was a save that I failed, and he did 1 wound. CP rerolled it into a mighty 5, which is D3 is 3 damage. He died. I spent my 2 CP for him to turn around because he was rudely poked in the back with a stick and kill him. So we died, but we wanted to leave him there because it's kind of a cool little, back and forth. And I hoped my Dread Knight was going to survive that, and I was so happy when he rolled a 1 on damage, and then he goes and rerolls it, and made me sad. So that, I think, is pretty much all the important stuff that happened there. This combat, I actually was real impressed that Drago was still alive, and I was grateful. So there's that. So we'll have another turn with the Grey Knights. Turn 3, not very many things that kill really good are dead on his side of the board, so it's going to be a rough turn 3 when they take their turn. The Death Guard people, all these Plague Burst crawlers shooting out of line of sight, it's going to be a bad time. But I have ideas, and I have thoughts, and I will continue to score some points, so we'll at least do that. And we'll give it a go. We'll give it a go. So we'll be back in a minute for the Grey Knights, turn 3. The Grey Knights, turn 3 is now done. So these guys purified the ritual. The other squad got into this rhino and advanced it over here, and we're still short of that objective, but that's okay, I think. It's probably going to die now, but we're going to try. These guys continued purifying objectives, and we did, so we only did 2. I forgot to add that to my score. Because the Mr. Captain over here failed to purify this ritual, was embarrassing. Mr. Drago also failed to do anything psychic. Oh no, I take that back. He tried to cast Gate, which failed, and then he did cast a Smite and did 3 mortal wounds to the Blight Hauler. And I gave Chapter Master to Drago because I wasn't originally intending to charge the captain, and then I did, so I wish I had given him Chapter Master, but that's okay. So Mr. Captain made a charge in here, and he took a few wounds, but not enough to kill it. The poor thing is alive on a wound, which means the captain could be in some trouble. Yeah. This rhinoceros disembarked some interceptors from it. They were over here where this card is at, and we cast the Symphonic Strike spell for the +1 attacks, and then shot at a Nurgling, and I've not done more than 2 wounds to a Nurgling unit at all in this game in shooting, and I obliterated that one, and so I had nothing to charge. And then I realized there was a Blight Hauler on this side of the wall, so we charged here. I did have to CP reroll it to make it in, but we did make the charge, and stringing back, I was able to get 1 interceptor that has no melee weapon on the objective and make it in combat. So I was proud of myself. It was a good shenanigan. They'll all die next too, but that's okay. I think that was everything. We did all that. Oh, the Blight Hauler killed Drago. It was a very inglorious ending for Drago. If he'd gotten his Gate of Infinity off, it would have been a different story, but he didn't. And that's the end of the story. So I had picked up 8 more on primary. I did purify for 2, and that's it. Nothing else has happened yet. I got 1 point for banners. So we're going into Death Guard turn 3, and it could be real grim when we come back at the end of Death Guard turn 3. So we'll do that in just a minute. It is now the end of the Death Guard turn 3, and not terribly surprising, the captain died. I will say, though, he only had 1 wound to deal with, and he failed to shrug it. He also failed to save it. So, I mean, could have been worse. It was really funny, though, because he rolled a multi-meltas and rolled double 1s. I was very amused. Anywho, he is still dead. So
double 1s to hit.
Oh, that's right. And it was double 1s to wounds. Yeah, and you can't re-roll the wounds because they're not plague weapons. Yeah, it was spectacular. But he still died regardless because a crack missile went through. So I have no more OBSEC on here. So he's once again got Stranglehold, now holds that. Funny story, 3 Plague Burst Crawlers can kill a unit of 5 Interceptors. Yeah, nobody saw that coming. Oh, wait. Yes, we did. This guy's still alive. I don't think I rolled to try to attack, and I don't think he rolled to try to attack. So we technically didn't finish our combat over there, but it's not a real big deal. We'll show you that in a second. Everybody else moved up to see things. This squad's still alive. This squad is in the Rhino, still alive, and then there's 2 guys back here bravely held their ground. So that's That's what I'm doing right now. So that's the end of the Death Guard turn 3. It's actually still an incredibly close score. However, as you can see, Plague Burst Crawler, Blade Burst Crawler, Plague Burst Crawler, Blight Hauler, and other Blight Hauler, all right up here, and his troops are sitting on that objective. It's going to not be very conceivable for me to do much more in this game. So we're going to play another turn. It'll be pretty quick, but we'll show you the end of turn for both of them, and then we'll be back after that. And yeah, Grey Knight's turn 4 in just a minute. Okay, that was quick for us and for you watching. These guys moved up. They took some shots into that one Blight Hauler because it has a wound. It did do a wound, but he saved it. So it would have been really funny to blow that up. Funny, but also it's in range of the objective, so I would have picked up an extra for the mission bonus if I had made that work. So it would have been a thing. These guys moved forwards. We were not close enough to do Purifying Ritual on that. We're just a shade out. We did a smite, and then we did a lot of shooting, so these are both two-man squads now, which is kind of my goal because they can't do investigate signals anymore. These guys got out of the Rhino and stayed here where they could see and shoot and did such, and this Rhino moved up and did some shooting as well. That was the end of my turn. I did Purify Ritual twice on these two back objectives, and I got another banner, and I got 8 for primary, and that was it. So we'll come back for Death Guard turn 4 in a second. Alright, so Death Guard turn 4 is over. Moved Marines into a building, moved Marines behind a building. And then he proceeded to shoot with everything. So shifted a couple of Plague Burst Crawlers. That guy got to sit still because he had line of sight. Mr. Poxbringer came running up to try to do a smite, which I denied. And then we realized I denied everything that guy tried to cast. So I sort of feel bad for him, but then I don't. Mr. Epidemius sat his happy self over here for the whole game, pretty much. And the tally was well past 7 when we got into turn 3 or 4. Yeah, in the end of turn 3, the tally was up to 7. It was pretty gross. All of the shooting, this was amusing to me, took all 3 Plague Burst Crawlers to kill these 5 Interceptors with no buffs or bonuses. He just rolled bad number of shots to hit and then failed a few hits and wounds, but eventually got them with the last Plague Burst Crawler over there. Then the Rhinoceros that was here was eliminated by a whole bunch of Mephitic Blight Haulers, and this squad also took some incidental shots and dropped down to 1 Marine left, but he did stay a mighty Marine, and that's basically it. So that was the end of his turn 4. Did not get mission bonus for the last for turn 4 because I was not on that objective, even though he killed me, and didn't kill this guy off of it yet, and didn't take a new objective. So interestingly, denied him points on that, sort of, I guess. So we're tallying it all up. I know technically we don't count them out and play them out anymore the way it is with the new rules and Knockmoon whatever. We went ahead and did it because it's one more turn of the game. I probably would have died with everything. It seems likely, but I had first turn, so I would have picked up a couple more rituals. We did roll to see if I passed those or not. So I picked up the 2 more rituals. My banner stayed up, and there's no way he was really coming down around the corner. And I wasn't killing his to the last. So points-wise, it turned out much better for me than I anticipated. I made a score of 75 points, but Mr. Wilder here got 88. So it was 88 to 75. It was a lot of fun. So I love his list. I dislike all the anti-tank that he has. It is some strong shooting. And I've played against Plague Burst Crawlers in the past where they didn't do a whole lot of good. But these dudes, they were nasty. They did a lot of work. The Blight Haulers being in individual units, even though you can't just put a 4 Binvol on a unit of 3 to help keep them alive longer, didn't really seem to matter as much. Well, against Grey Knights, it doesn't matter. I can't bring Eradicators. I can't bring stuff that can one-shot things like this. So it was really saucy. It was a very cool list. I don't know. Do you have an MVP? Can you pick an MVP?
100%.
Yeah?
I mean, I gotta give it to the Plague Caster for killing the
for killing the Dread Knight,
the Dread Knight in combat.
sticking a knife up his butt or a stick.
stick up his ass in combat.
It was hilarious. You're not wrong. I forgot about that little
Yeah.
moment.
If I'm not being completely stupid with my MVP,
Yeah.
it's probably
That was a funny
gonna
moment.
have to be this little nerdling over here.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that dude.
He lived so much stuff.
He got shot at least 3 different times by
Yeah.
like 3 different squads. Got charged like twice.
Saved me
Still
so many
survived.
points.
He did. He was. You're not wrong. That dude was a menace.
Yeah.
I had a good time. I had a lot of units that did what I wanted them to do. I just didn't have enough to stay on the board. But I was proud of Drago for holding his own there. And then the one Dread Knight that managed to save 4 saves against the Demon Prince and then turn around and kill him. Just barely, but he did kill him. I think that would be my MVP. So one of my little Dread Knight boys. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciated this. We played once a while ago, and
I was playing Terminus Est.
he played
And it
Terminus
went
Est,
bad.
and it ended very poorly. So this was a revenge game for Wilder, but this list right here is not going to be ending poorly in a lot of matchups. It was a lot of fun.
Check the results of the Asgard RTT tomorrow.
Yes,
See
he is playing at
this list.
Asgard in Houston, so you can check that out and see how it plays against some of the other lists. Really cool. That whole damage reduction was very helpful for him in this game. So there you have it, guys. 75 to 88. Great game. Lots of fun. Hope you enjoyed the battle report, and check us out in the future for more.